Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
In as an entrepreneur, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize what it took to get to opening day, so to speak. So it's a lot of moving parts, as a good friend of mine would always say. Well, Spike, tell us a little bit about you. You work for a nonprofit veterans organization. What's your background? What brought you into this Operations Red Ring?
Well, first of all, for me, this is where I'm continuing to serve my country by serving my fellow veterans. I'm a retired senior master sergeant, served 26 years in the National Guard, Air Force, part of the 111 Fighter Squadron down in Ellington, just south of here. And what that included 2 combat deployments. So I've been overseas in Iraq and volunteered, after my 12, 14-hour shift, volunteered at the Air Force Theater Hospital and was unloaded the wounded and bringing them into the ER and sat in surgeries and actually volunteered in ICU. So I've seen fellow service members that were injured, obviously physically, but also mentally. And that's what we do with Operation Red Wings Foundation, is that we're trying to, provide a healing pathway for our veterans and our families that are suffering from those invisible injuries of war. So with me, what I do is I travel the country, I give speeches, I raise the awareness. If there's a veteran in need, let them know how they can sign up, and then in addition to that, be able to raise the funds, because everything we do is at no cost to our veterans. So our program consists of 6 days in person. We have a location in Huntsville, Texas, right up the road, and the second one we just opened up in Fayetteville, North Carolina last year. We've been around for over 12 years, and we address the mental health aspect. So if the veteran suffers from PTSD, mild traumatic brain injury, or chronic pain, then they're eligible for our program. Regardless of where they are in the country, they contact us, and from there, we'll do an intake and give them a date, give them an airline ticket if they need it, cover that, pick them up. They got a location where they're, our facility is very peaceful. We have therapists that are there, 3 hot meals. Everything is covered. And in addition to that, the program is one that first the individual veteran goes through or currently serving. Next will be the spouse / caregiver. Then another program consists of the couples. And if they're school-age children, then we'll bring them back with them. And all of that is at no cost because of great organizations like the Texas Custom Night Show that, fundraise and support us.
Well, that's fantastic. We were talking before we went on the air about organizations out there, and there are some wonderful organizations serving our veterans when they are in time of need. So there's no doubt. Well, welcome to the show to you. Mike, again, welcome to you. Let's talk a little bit, we've got a few minutes left in this segment, about the business of a live show, putting it on. You mentioned there's lots of, I called it moving parts. What are some of the main things that you do or have to do to put on a first-class live show?
Like you said, a lot of it really comes in the planning. Once it's showtime and the gates are open, everything is already put into motion at that point. So, and you talked about other people, whether or not they have the experience of doing it, and I was at another knife show this weekend, and they did a great job. It was a couple of hours away from here over in a town called Bastrop. And again, it's an example of one of the shows that's kind of popped up as a result of the popularity of this show. But I think that the success of our show comes in the planning that we put in, the ideas that we get from partners and things like that. But to be a successful business, whether it's a live event or whether you're, making soda pop to sell at the grocery store, whether you're a bank, a car dealer, whatever, you have to stand out and be unique and be different, right? You have to set yourself apart from your competition. And we set out to do that from the very beginning, knowing that we wanted to be unique. Within our industry, a lot of these shows it's pretty easy to organize them. You walk into a convention center room, there'll be a table, and have 50 different vendors, and they all have the knives that they've made in their own home forges, and they're all laid out. But our event is not that. It is entertaining. It is 2 days of nonstop contests and live competitions. So that in itself takes an incredible amount of planning. You need the equipment. You need the contestants. There's safety factors involved. We have fire and we have knives and we have the general public there. So there's certainly, a safety factor there as well. When I've run businesses and going back to, being in the corporate world, for a long time running a business, and I used to have 75 to 100 employees, I felt like I was living in a tornado sometimes. It's just everything's constantly spinning and happening and things are coming at you from different directions. So I break up a business into what I call categories or pillars. And it starts with staffing, and we always make sure we have the right staff and personnel involved. So we do rely on some volunteers to help us. They're there for the weekend and for a couple of days, but that requires recruiting and training just like a regular employee, right? Again, the safety factor always has to be involved. And then you get into the marketing and the business. We've been marketing this event for 7 months, Rick. We're a month away. It's going to be November 4th and 5th. But we've been on social media, we've been in front of businesses and organizations, and even on the radio and media for months already. So the biggest key is the planning and the partnerships, and then once you have a plan, you just execute.
Yeah, that's what business is all about. I will say, your poster, and I want to show this as I speak. You got a damn good graphic artist or whoever. I really like the way this is done, the way it's laid out,
Thank
the
you.
feel of it. So don't tell me you do that in your spare time. You got to have somebody that's doing that for you.
No, I did that. I did that too.
Yeah, okay. Did you really?
I did. Yeah.
Boy, this guy, Spike, you picked the right organization to affiliate with. They got somebody running the show on a day-to-day basis that's got it all. No doubt about that. Well, let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
How important is it to you and your business, of being affiliated in a sense or directly connected with a nonprofit? This is something that I try to teach my business clients that I work with to mentor them and advise them of building their small businesses to find at least one charity and get involved, the company and everything. How important is it to your business to be connected with a charity, and in this case, Operation Red Wings?
Oh, it's 100% essential. When we first started this organization, and with other events that I've done, and I have done a few other local events in the past. I'm not doing anything but this now. It's grown to its own. It's beast now. It's a 12-month job, but that to me has always been essential. But I think it goes back to your values and the way you were raised. Again, that's the way Mom and Daddy raised me. And back to my spiritual beliefs as well is, we're here to do great things, but we're here to give back. You have to give back to your community. When we first started this, I think the first year, we donated part of the proceeds, and we did some other things to benefit a local Boy Scout. I've raised 3 sons that live in the community, and they were all in Boy Scouts, an Eagle and a Life Scout. So we helped them the first year. The second year, we moved up to another veteran-based organization. We were at the time reaching out to Spike's organization, but we hadn't been able to partner with them yet. So we helped another organization in year 2, and then in year 3, and we're now in year 6, of this event again, by the way. But that third year, we finally were able to partner with Spike's organization, the Operation Red Wings Foundation. That to me is it's a piece of the business. Not only do we know we're giving back, but it keeps us grounded. It keeps us, focused on where we're going and what we want to accomplish. As an organization, we started this event just as the opportunity to help local people promote their skills and organizations. This event started to help local people who had been contestants on the Forged and Fired TV show kind of continue to get their name out and grow their business and come together as a bladesmith community, as a business community. These guys know how to make great knives, but they're not all good businessmen and women, They have incredible skills and talents. And like I said, I was just blessed to have the opportunity to bring my skills and background to help them do that. But to your point, I think that element of giving back always has to be there, or, what are we doing it for? So.
Yeah, it's to me again. It's part of what I try to teach businesses connect, because it has so many benefits to the business. they may not be direct, but it's engaging the employees, building your culture internally, because there'll be people, most employees will want to get involved, and so on and so forth. And doing a project, hopefully. In other words, a real connection. In other words, not just passing the hat or a payroll deduction, but being involved and so on and so forth. Well, Spike, how important is it in your organization, or what is it that you went out and found, I assume, or mutually met in the middle or whatever, a partner? I mean, they're basically a partner the way this shows itself. Is this something you sought out, or your organization sought out?
Well, actually, he reached out to us, and they got forward to me with my role with the foundation, and so I feel like I'm a good judge of character, And so when I talked to Mike, I could tell his eagerness, and not only that, but I look at it, we thinking about what it is, his business plan, right? What is your business plan? And the way he described that, there was things like, I think I can help here, here, and here. And that is what we try to do. We try to set up a win-win situation because, one, we want to, be able to express, the social conscience for the group that we're working with. And then in turn, our veterans are benefiting by being able to go through our programs at no cost. So just on our social media, we have over 250,000 followers. We promote them there, on our, Facebook page, which has over 150,000. We have on our website, we have, so many followers that we place that on our event site so that there is that win-win we are promoting as well. We are a true partner with this, and we have grown together as far as, the brainstorming that we've had, as far as what is the next thing we do? What about this? And that's once we start, that brainstorming, it's incredible, and we always seem to come up with some great ideas.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, I think it was a Thursday evening, about 9 o'clock at night. All of a sudden, I'm winding down the day. It's 9 o'clock at night. It's almost my bedtime, and my phone rings, and I look down, and it's Spike, and he's like, "Man, I just had these ideas. Let me call you and rattle these off before I forget." I mean, they're at 9 o'clock at night, and he's shooting ideas out on things that that we're working on and putting together for the event. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great partnership, and we just lean on each other, and I think we've inspired each other. I mean, you've certainly motivated me at times, and I pray that I've been able to
absolutely.
to give the same back to you. But yeah, it's been a tremendous partnership, and we want to try to take it to another level. Can I make a big announcement real quick here on the air?
You've got the mic.
Can I do that? Is that okay? Yeah. So we worked hard to be able to be in the position to do this, and we can. And we are offering some discount tickets, some discounts to first responders and some other very great people in the community. But because of our love and our passion to support this foundation, because of what they do, we want to offer active and retired military personnel
and veterans
and veterans 50% off of their tickets, the one-day ticket price. It's a $16 ticket, and we want to be able to offer that at half price. So we can do that this year, and Spike, we just want to extend that to everybody that you benefit, and obviously everybody that's listening and everybody in the community, half off. The tickets will need to be purchased at the door so that they can show a valid ID, and you can kind of explain. We were talking about that before we went on the air, but we want to be able to offer that, and we wanted to use your show to make that announcement, please.
That's great. That's great. It's you really spent some time here talking about partnership, and I want to make sure that the listeners get that. This is not just connecting with a charity in the neighborhood or in your area or something you feel really strong with as an owner, manager, supervisor, whatever position you might hold, but it's doing some more groundwork and developing a true partnership. And this is a great dialogue, I believe, we just listened to, the back and forth, the ideas, building programs, building things. And I encourage every business, even if you're just one of you, like so many of us, and I've been there as well, reach out and connect. And there's a lot of great benefits to it both ways if it's done right. So congratulations on what appears to be a wonderful first-class partnership. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
we're going to have to take a short break, or we need to. We've been talking a long time. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kind of dive deep into the show that's coming up and give you a little more details and perhaps encouragement to take the time to attend the show with you and your family. So please stay with us. We'll be right back with you.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Vell Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit, began in 2014 with a mission to strengthen the future of veterans through leadership and entrepreneurship training. We've invested over 1,400 hours of training in our veterans while connecting them with community entrepreneurs and leaders. Our mission is to continue investing in our veterans who have given so much for our country. Please join us in our mission by visiting vellinstitute.org. That's VELinstitute.org.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Weekly Business Hour, and I think we're having a wonderful conversation here today with two individuals, Mike and Spike. It's something unexpected. We're talking to partners between a for-profit business, if you will, who puts on live shows, and they've got a big show coming up, and we're going to be talking about that, partnering with a nonprofit. And I think this is an interesting conversation and one hopefully everyone will listen to. I also want to make another reminder to you. If you got anything to say about the show, got an idea, thought, or want to talk about your business, drop me an email, rick@irlonestar.com. That's rick@irlonestar.com. Well, let's get back to business. Let's talk about the show itself. Mike, it's coming up November 4th and 5th. Give us a little bit of background and what's so unique and exciting. You've sort of touched on that a little bit, but let's talk about it.
Thank you. Yeah. So again, the idea came to me. It was brought to me in early 2018 to do the event with a local gentleman who had actually been on the very first season of Forged in Fire, a local bladesmith right here in our community. And he said, hey, we got this group of guys that live around here. They've been on the show. We want to get together and do an event, but we don't know how to throw an event together. So you do events, we do knives. Let's get together and make this thing happen. And I said, okay, but kind of on one condition. I said, listen, I'm not going to do that same kind of show like we just talked about where, it's just a room full of knives on a bunch of tables. And I said, listen, we're going to make an event out of it, something that's fun, something that's unique and entertaining. So what we decided to do was actually simulate the contest on the TV show. And we're the only show in the country, Rick, that does this. So we actually hold a live blade forging contest with forges and grinders and the hammers and anvils. And these guys actually have 3 hours. We give them a pile of steel, right? It's raw, it's crude, it's rough. And they have 3 hours to turn it into a functioning blade, and then we actually judge the blades. It's exactly like what you see on Forged in Fire, but we do it right here at the Montgomery County Fairground, right at the pavilion, live for people to come watch and see. And so in the early days of the event, in 2018 and 19, we judged the blades to determine a winner, and we were using sandbags and, and pumpkins or whatever, to determine the strength and the sharpness of a blade. Let's see, 2021 was the first year we actually started using ballistic dummy gel torsos, just like you see in Hollywood, just like you see on the show. And then as of last year, Doug Marcaida, the popular judge from the TV show, he actually agreed to come out to our show. Now he's being joined by Jay Nielsen. So we're the only show in the country, the only knife show in the country that has 2 actual judges from Forged and Fire coming right here to Conroe to judge the blades at the only show that does a live contest. So it's fun, it's unique, and it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's truly a live event,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I called it. It's not just a show. And like you say, there are a lot of shows out there. We have a coin show, we have this and that, and people walk around. Oh, there may be a speaker or something, or you can go into a little seminar. Yeah. But this sounds so exciting. Who does this show appeal to? I mean, what is the audience you're looking for?
That is a great question. So, of course, it primarily appeals to knife lovers and people who use knives for different things, and obviously fans of the show. Last year, when we were still holding the event at Southern Star Brewery, of course, now we're at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds, Mother Nature was not our friend last year. It was outdoors, and it was 39 degrees and raining the entire weekend. It was miserable. But people still lined up. People came from Louisiana. People came from all over Texas, Missouri, and Oklahoma to meet Doug Marcaida. He's so great. He's so exciting, and he's so down to earth. People know him for his little catchphrase, this blade will keel. He always says that on TV. What people don't know is the word keel is actually an acronym that he uses for Keep Everyone Alive. He's a martial arts and self-defense expert. So people love to meet him. He's great to meet. He's fun. He just hangs out and talks with people. The show appeals to everyone. But what we've also done this year is made it more family-friendly. We have face painting. We have jelly ball. We have a lot of stuff for kids to do. So guys love the show, but I always hear ladies that come with their guys or kids or whoever, as they're around the show, they always say, this is more fun than I ever would have imagined just a knife show could be. So there's a primary audience, but everybody has a good time.
Well, it sounds exciting. Let me ask you, Spike, your organization, what part do you play, if any, in the actual live event?
Well, so what we do is we are there. We have our booth display. We have some merchandise that we're selling there. We have our sign up. We have a lot of veterans that are attending these shows, and if they want to sign up, if they want to sign up for our program, find out more, we have collateral information we can hand them. They can sign up there, or if somebody just it could be anybody. If they want to find out more about our organization, they can sign up for our monthly newsletter. So we have that portion there, and then there are times whenever I'll give the 15-second elevator pitch about what we do and why it is. We are so appreciative that they're there supporting the day, supporting the foundation, helping our veterans as well.
And the way that people can really come out and help and support this organization the most is we do the live auction to benefit them on Saturday, Rick. So we obviously have a lot of great and unique things, but one of the most unique things that we auction off, the winning blade. In fact, the all 4 competitive blades from the live forging contest, we frame them in a nice shadow box, put some pictures, the bladesmiths autograph them, Doug and Jay will autograph them, and then we auction those off. So people actually can take home the blades that they watched get made, right, and forged, and they, and watch them being judged by Forged and Fire judges. They now can bid on them and take them home, and 100% of the benefits from the auction go to Operation Red Wing. So that's the most exciting thing that we do, and that's where the proceeds come from.
Boy, I bet that's an exciting auction to attend.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Is.
The direct connection right there. You saw it get made now. You can bid on it. Wow, that's great. What else should we know about the show?
There's so much to do. We have, Saturday is filled, but we always try to do a couple of unique things like what we talked about. One of the things that we'll have at the show that no other show has that I know of is we call it the Forged and Fire Museum. The way the TV show works is if you make it to the final round, all right, so there's 2 finalists, right, just like a lot of the reality shows that we watch. If you win, the History Channel keeps the blade that you make. And those are in warehouses somewhere and probably on display. They have their own museum. But if you came in second place, if you were a close runner-up, like my partner with Brave Hawk Forge, you get to keep your blade. You get to take it back home. You didn't win. But it's still an amazing blade that you spent hours and hours making, and it was on TV. So we have a handful of those guys and those items that were made for the show that are going to be on display. We call it the Parade of Blades. So those are going to be on display where people can actually see them. They're going to be, secured and monitored for safety reasons, obviously. But you can actually see a weapon that you watched made on TV, and then on Sunday afternoon, those guys are going to get up and talk about them. Imagine this. They're going to get up and do what we call a show and tell, the Parade of Blades. They're going to talk about the making of it, but they're going to be standing right next to Doug and Jay, who judged their blades and decided that they were not good enough to win. They're going to be able to look them right in the eye and go, "Why didn't I win?" So it's going to be a fun little banter back and forth with the guys, up on stage talking about the blades they made. It's a pretty unique thing, and we're very excited about it.
Well, I can tell you one thing: you better get that energy drink or something to stay up with it all. That's an amazing show that you've put together. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're to the end of our second segment here, and I want to thank both of you very much. Spike, do you have anything to leave our audience with?
I'd say come on out, support it's a great event and a great way to have fun, family fun, and support our veterans.
Mike, you have anything?
Sorry, man. That was my partner, Jacob, calling in right there. He just wanted to make sure. He said thank you for the opportunity as well. Tickets are on sale on our website, TexasCustomKnifeShow.com. Of course, all the information about the event, but that's where the tickets are available. And they can reach out to us if they have specific questions or want to donate an item for the auction or something like that. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, a pod video cast of today's show will be available in the next couple days on Wednesday and be posted on the website of the radio station, irlonestar.com, or you can go to the Facebook pages for the weekly business hour. It'll be posted there, and then a number of other social media sites. So please, if you missed it or you want to re-listen, or particularly if you're interested in sharing it with someone, please go and pick up that show. Second half, we're going to go to the mailbag, and we're going to talk about what kind of cash flow do you have. This is a very interesting story I'm going to share with you from a good friend. And one best consult tip of the week: how companies should vet their nonprofit partners. Very, very interesting, and something, again, if we encourage you to find a nonprofit partner, we've got to equip you, hopefully better, so you find the right one. So please, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break, and we'll be right back with you.
Fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a non-profit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas Ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Vell Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit, began in 2014 with a mission to strengthen the future of veterans through leadership and entrepreneurship training. We've invested over 1,400 hours of training in our veterans while connecting them with community entrepreneurs and leaders. Our mission is to continue investing in our veterans who have given so much for our country. Please join us in our mission by visiting velinstitute.org. That's VELinstitute.org.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dan Simon, Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Weekly Business Hour. I'm Rick Schisler. I'm your host. I'm also a Silver Fox advisor and the founder of OneBestConsult.com. I want to thank you for listening to the program. I hope you enjoyed our initial segment and talking to the folks with the upcoming Texas Custom Knife Show, talking about putting on live events and connecting with partners, charitable partners, people in the nonprofit area to be a partner. They've developed a wonderful partnership, it sounds like, with Operation Red Wings, a veterans organization. So if you want, re-listen to it, and please share it. It's a great segment about how to do that and how to connect your business, which I personally encourage, with a nonprofit. Well, we're going to go to the mailbag. We're a little bit short on time. That segment ran over a little bit. So we're going to go to the mailbag first, and we might put our One Best Consult tip of the week on hold, which happens to be how you should vet as a company nonprofit partners. So it's right on target, but we'll hold that to our next live show because I want to get this cash flow situation out there. Good friend of mine, a fellow Silver Fox, Dick Hindy, wrote an article and published it. It's available at silverfox.org. That's silverfox.org. We have a collection of articles there. All of them, I think, to some extent, if not wholly, are very interesting and very helpful to most businesses. And I think this is one of the most helpful I've seen in a while. Dick's article is entitled Global Cash Flow. And my title for it is, do you have the kind of cash flow? What kind of cash flow do you have? And I want to talk about that, and I'm going to use some of the arguments and ideas that Dick puts out in his article and talk about that. The bottom line is today, to borrow money is getting more difficult. It already is difficult, a lot more difficult than just a year ago. In particular, apparently for small businesses. Banks are pulling in, the curbs and sidewalks and everything and hunkering down, as they used to say, because of concerns about certain classes of loans, such as real estate and so on and so forth. And this is happening all over the country. So first, don't feel like you're being picked on, but banks are being very, very careful as a group on their loan portfolio, a lot more than they have been in recent years in general. And so one of the things, or the main thing I should say, that banks look for when they make you a business loan, whether it's for inventory, it's for accounts receivable, whatever it might be, they look for your cash flow. They want to know what your cash flow is in the business because they're looking for that cash flow to be enough to pay them back, whether it be 1.25, 1.35 times. In other words, you pay your bills, you pay your folks, you pay everything, but you've got enough cash flow after all of that to pay the loan back, not just the interest, but pay the loan back on some type of payment plan that you and the bank have agreed to. So, okay, you've got the cash flow, but it's fairly close to that 1.35, generally speaking, ratio that they're looking for. The bank is going to start reaching further back into your situation, to every guarantor of the loan, which typically you as the owner, perhaps your spouse. They're going to look for what cash flow you may have elsewhere. Okay, say you have an investment portfolio and you're earning interest, you're earning dividends. What does that look like? What is your personal cash flow? You've got expenses, a mortgage, insurance, you've got kids, all the things that you have in a personal basis, and what is your cash flow? Do you have money coming in? For an example, you have a retirement account and it's earning money. Is it accessible? In case your business flounders, can't pay the loan, then they're going to turn to you as a guarantor. And I've talked to a couple people recently in the last month or so that their bank called out and asked for more information. They wanted to know more about their personal, call it, cash flow. So they reached out to them, and they were concerned, and they didn't understand this, and they've never had to really do this before. Well, my recollection is the last time I borrowed money, and I'm very familiar with banking. I've actually sat on a bank board for a number of years, a neighborhood bank, and I saw these types of loans. And back then, we had to do as far as a board and the collateral that the bank was looking for, its minimums, and this idea that you as a guarantor now, they are protecting themselves. They're making sure that that collateral is secure because they don't want to take your property. They don't want to foreclose on your business or your business real estate. They don't want to come pick up your vehicles or your machinery. They want you just to pay the loan. And you've got to understand that. But they've got to make sure that they have cash flow, at least today. On a certain day, it's a snapshot. Your situation may change. There's no doubt about it. And we're not going to go down into that. But the idea is cash flow is cash moving in and out of your company, your personal situation, and global cash flow, as Dick calls it, is cash flow moving in and out of not only your business, but your investments. Perhaps you own part of another company or own another company that's not directly tied, but you've got cash flow. Your retirement, whatever, technically, there's money moving in and out, your personal cash flow. They are looking for coverage of this loan. The primary coverage, the ratio they need is 1.35. But if it drops a little bit, business slows down, say we have that recession they can't make their minds up that we're going to have, or say inflation continues to dominate and sales drop because people are just not spending the money, then they want to make sure that there are other sources for the cash flow. Be aware of this. And that's the main thing, is be aware that this could happen to you. And it's very, very important that you are open-minded about this, that you work with the bank. If you need to, seek legal counsel to understand what's going on, or perhaps talk to your CPA, another good reason to have a quality, business-oriented CPA, so you can understand what you need to do. Don't accept it as face value. Always read the papers. Always read the fine print. I always say that. And enough with the always. But this is for your own protection, protection of your business and its viability, your family, your personal assets, etc. But banks are looking hard. And to some extent, you can't blame them. They just want to reduce the risk that they have. They don't want to foreclose. They don't want to be put in that position because it is bad for the bank. As loans become non-performing, they're written up and there's various classifications. The examiners come in and all of a sudden the bank's got a problem with the bank examiners. And one thing leads to another, and potentially you have failures like we saw in the first half of the year. And it's just not where they need to be. They're just doing their job in most cases. So be aware. Global cash flow, as my friend Dick calls it, is coming into play. Be ready, be aware, understand it, and be able to talk intelligently with your banker about it if need be. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Interesting idea about putting on live events. It's a business. There's no doubt about it. And Mike Thomas did a great job, in my opinion, of explaining it. He obviously has a tremendous background in it, and I hope you found that interesting from a business perspective. It's a business. He runs it like a business. And the idea that he has a full-time, so to speak, partner. He's got a partner, a true partner, not just someone he supports, but a partner in his business, a nonprofit charitable partner. It's part of the business plan. It's part of the marketing. It's part of who they are in their business in Razorsharp Productions. So very interesting and something you may want to look at for your business if it fits. So, ladies and gentlemen, my encouragement to you is always make a note. Next week, we'll be back at 10 o'clock, and look for the video podcast of today's show on the weekly business hour page at irlonestar.com, onebestconsult.com, Facebook and YouTube, and various other social media sites. And until next week, stay engaged this coming week, and always keep your focus on what counts in your business. Thanks.